Hello, everybody. It's, let's see, Thursday, January 8th, 2026. And here are some of your trends in the news. Remember, the trend is your friend. And we're giving to you like nobody, nowhere, anywhere. And I got to tell you, man, it ain't a happy new year for me. See all this shit going on. I'm heartbroken. Anyway, you know, there's an article that came out. The Pittsburgh newspaper to close this year. The paper, which dates back to 1786. Gone. One after another. Journalism is dead. And we're giving you what you're not going to find anywhere else. And if you could find it, you let us know. Hey, how about AI? AI is going to take over the world. Here, again, look at your top trends for 2026. All right? .com bust 2.0. The peace deals or is war peace? Presidential reality show. Off with their heads 2.0. .com bust 2.0. Gen Z revolution. Techitis. World War III. Precious metals to shine on. Militarization madness. Midterm madness. On and on. AI abundance, right? One after another. But go to AI. Google up. Go to Google and Google up top trends for 2026. The top trends for 2026 point towards bold fashion statements with dramatic silhouettes, bold colors, textured fabrics, and playful details like exaggerated bows and tassels. How about go fuck yourself? How about shove this stupid shit up your fucking AI ass? Calm down, Salente. The geeks are in control. The geek fucking freaks. Hey, you want to be a sucker boy? No, I like a peach eye. Look at these. Oh, cooked, man. Cooked. They're fucking over us big time. They are dumbing us down to sell their shit and take control. Capiche? Anyway, let's go on to the markets. And again, look at your top trends. Go to trendsjournal.com. We're giving you what nobody anywhere in the world is giving you. Not one fucking newspaper, not one fucking magazine. Nobody. But they blacklist us. Hey, you know what? Hey, you're only a little guinea from the Bronx, all right? Oh, I'm not an Ellison. I'm not one of the boys. My daddy wasn't rich. All right. One big club and you ain't in it, as George Carlin said. So you support us if you want to know history before it happens. And the more people that support us, the more we can do to change the world from going to shit, because we have shitheads running the world in a country near you. Anyway, that fucking AI bullshit, shoved up your fucking ass. So let's take a look at the markets. All right, wait a minute. Okay, I lost it here. Okay, ready? The Dow closed up 270 points. NASDAQ down at 0.44. The S&P inched a bit, 0.1 flat. Yep, artificial intelligence, NVIDIA was down 2%. Oracle pulled back 1%. Apple was down. But, you ready? Defense stocks were a bright spot of the day, as key names rallied after President Donald Trump, this is the language from CNBC, called for over $1.5 billion in defense budgets for 2027, a massive increase from the $901 billion approved by Congress last year. Yep. Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies in the final sense a theft from those who hunger and are not fed. Hey, Gen Z, right? Yeah. Again, the Gen Z revolution. Those who are cold and not clothed. Yeah, fuck them. The world in arms is not spending money alone. It's spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, the hopes of its children. This is not a way of life at all in any sense. Under the clouds of war, it is humanity hanging on a cross of iron, said former President Dwight D. Eisenhower, 5-star general and supreme commander of the Allied forces. Love Eisenhower, hate Eisenhower, shove it, don't give a fuck. That's what he said. Oh, and he wasn't a draft dodger. This guy used to fight. But we got draft dodger Trump now, going to increase the military budget, and it only enriches the military industrial complex. End of fucking story. You ready? Defense stocks surge after Trump calls for $1.5 trillion military budget. Yep. This will allow us to build, quote, the dream military, he said. Do you imagine this fucking language? That we have long been entitled to. Aren't you all fucking happy about this? As the fucking real Amtrak? As I said, it takes me 4.5 hours to drive from Kingston to Montreal. I take Amtrak out of Rhinebeck, right across the river, 10 hours up, 10 hours back. Yep. Yep. After the long and difficult negotiations with senators, congressmen, security secretaries, and other political representatives, I have determined that for the good of our country, especially in these very troubled and dangerous times, our military budget for the year in 2027 should not be $1 trillion, but rather $1.5 trillion. Yep. This will allow us to build up the dream military. Can you imagine this? You know, the Bronx, we used to say bullshit has its own sound. Oh, he changed the name, huh? Remember, it was the Defense Department. Now it's the Department of War. Yeah. Bombs away. Bombs away. Defense stocks drop after Trump says Pentagon spending could be halved. February 13th, 2025. CNBC. Defense stocks dropped sharply Thursday afternoon after President Donald Trump said, quote, at some point when things settle down, I'm going to meet with China, I'm going to meet with Russia, and particularly those two, and I'm going to say there's no reason for us spending almost $1 trillion on our military. I'm going to say we can spend it on other things. And he suggested that he would cut defense spending in half at some point in the future. Again, you know what that was? More Trump.
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
You got it. Take precautions.
Bullshit level DEFCON 5.
It's Trump. Yep. Yep. Again, I read all the quotes from him about he was on my New Year's resolution, peace on earth. Anyway, moving on. Intel shares rose 2%. And quote, I just finished a great meeting with the very successful Intel CEO, Trump wrote. In August, the U.S. government took a 10% stake in Intel. Again, the merger of state and corporate powers. Not my definition. This guy by the name of Mussolini. The merger of state and corporate powers is fascism. Capiche? You got it? What else? PwC leans in to crypto business after Trump and lawmakers embrace sector. And And what's one of your top trends? Yeah. About how the Trump team, Bitcoin or Bitcon, the Trumpsters are running the show. Oh, so what happened today with the Bitcoin? It was trading around 90,000. Gold and silver. Let's see. Yeah, Bitcoin's trading at 91,000. We went on the air. Gold hit a low today of $4,007, but it closed at 4,477. And silver was down a bit. And let's see, how much was it down here? It was about $1 something, $1.22. It closed at 76.92. So it's not too far. It's about $3 off its side, $3 and change. So it's still very bullish on it. Yeah. Tomorrow, by the way, is the big time. They're going to come out with their job numbers to see what happened over there. The job report that comes out tomorrow. Everybody's going to be looking for that. Job openings, hirings declined in November. Factory orders fell in October. Yep. Trump takes steps to curb big investors in markets for homes. President Trump said he would move to ban large investors from buying single-family homes. That's great, because what happened was the panic of 08, you don't got a job, you had to work, you're deep in debt, don't worry about it. We've got a subprime mortgage, sign over here. Oh, the Federal Reserve, according to the Levy Institute of Bard College, bailed out the banks to bandits that did this scam of $29 trillion between, I think, 2007, 2010. All right? So what happened when all these people lost these homes? Blackstone and others, some 20% of the homes in America, that's when it began, or bought by these venture capitalists, hedge funds, et cetera, private equity groups. So that's great what Trump's doing on that. So I agree 1,000% with him. I call it like it is, not what you like, what you want, what is. And again, I agree with that because I don't like the big zoning everything. Eurozone manufacturing slumped. Yep, it's in negative territory. Dropped from 48.8 in December, from 49.6 in November. Anything under 50 is contraction. And it keeps going on. The facts are going to be in your Trends Journal. What's going on? Again, the greatest depression is going to happen. U.S. asset managers break M&A record. Again, the bigs keep getting bigger. So I said, I'm all in favor of the bigs not owning everything. U.S. asset managers spent a record amount last year on merger and acquisitions. And again, every week in your Trends Journal, we list them. Bigs getting bigger. Buffett-backed Japanese group to buy Golas. Yep. One after another. Amgen buys UK cancer biotech for $840 million. And on and on and on and on. And what else? This is the headline in one of the stories on anti-war today. White House says, quote, it will dictate the decisions of Venezuelan government. Isn't that nice? And little clown Vance boy, he said in an interview on Fox on Wednesday, quote, we control the energy resources and we will tell the regime you're not allowed to sell the oil so long as you serve America's national interests. You're not allowed to sell it if you can't serve America's national interests, Vance said. Trump's also threatening to bomb Venezuela again and potentially send troops if the government doesn't do the bidding, he said. This is what they reported. U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wrong, said that the U.S. will control Venezuela's oil sales, you ready? Indefinitely. Indefinitely. Could you believe this shit? Could you believe this shit? In a follow-up post on Wednesday, Trump claimed that under the deal, I have just been informed that Venezuela is going to purchase only American-made products with money they receive from our new oil deal. Article in the Wall Street Journal, Trump works to dominate Venezuela oil sector. Trump's doctrine confounds allies and foes. Wall Street Journal. Donald Trump's new Don Roe doctrine, loudly proclaimed by the seizure of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and the president's assertion that Washington now runs, that's a quote, runs the Latin American country. Could you believe this? U.S. seizes tanker and aims to control Venezuelan crude sales indefinitely. Indefinitely. This is a picture. Again, why you subscribe to the Trends Journal. I told you all the language they use. Every time they refer to Maduro, they call him an authoritarian, this and that, but they don't call the other. We got an authoritarian guy here, but they don't call him that. So that's why we don't do that. Our trend forecasts and trends analysis, we tell it like it is, but we report the facts the way they are and give you our analysis. We don't brainwash you like they do. Look at this picture that they showed this guy. Maduro's enforcer stands in Trump's way. Yep. Standing between President Trump and his vision for a stable U.S. friendly. Can you imagine this? Look at the fucking language. Stable U.S. friendly oil power looms one man. I don't know if I can pronounce his name right. Diosdado Cabello. You ready? The belligerent and eccentric de facto leader of Venezuela security forces and brutal militias. Oh, they're a brutal militia if they try to stop you from invading. But go to Politico when this other clown was running for office. Argentina elects far-right chainsaw-wielding Javier Milei as president. They don't call him crazy. No. They support him. The fucking guy got a chainsaw. This guy got a baseball bat. They denounce him. And all you plantation workers of Slavelandia, what did America send that Milei clown? $40 billion. $40 billion of our money. Hey, we've got to build up their country. Their country. Anyway, moving on. What else? Oh, Israeli warplanes kill 4 Palestinians. Oh, that's no news. Fuck off, Slinty. Shut your fucking mouth. Illegal settlers to place 20 Palestinian families in occupied territories. Well, that's okay. They could do anything they want. God gave them that land. U.S. launches airstrikes in Somalia. Antiwar.com. You ready? 128 airstrikes since Trump came into office. Hey, I'm a peace president, all right? You elect me, I'm going to peace on earth. Saudi Arabia launches airstrikes on Yemen. Keep ramping up, ramping up, ramping up. Trump called himself the most anti-war president in history. Remember that? Yep. As we say again in the Bronx, bullshit has its own sound. And that's all that comes out of Trump's mouth. Every day, more and more bullshit. We want to have peace on earth all over. Now, Trump said that on September 25th, 2024. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. Campaign speech, October 20th, 2024. I want immediate peace. January 20th, 2025. I'm moving quickly to end wars, settle conflicts, and restore the planet to peace. I want peace. Man of peace, or the cover says, a piece of shit. By his deeds you shall know him. building up the military. $1.5 trillion. And finally, another article, and there's in the Wall Street Journal, new diet guidelines, eat more protein, less sugar. A lot of this thing I agree with, that they're doing with RFK Jr. and telling people to stop eating a lot of sugar and these ultra-processed foods, and they're changing the regulations. And here's a quote by Kennedy that I totally agree with. These guidelines replace corporate-driven assumptions with common sense goals and gold standard scientific integrity. Yep. Corporations run the country in a country near you. So some of the things I agree with them very, very strongly. And as you may remember, if I can find here, it is. The first book I worked on back in the 1980s, Natural Healing. So I agree with a lot of what they're saying there. And again, each week we have articles in the Trends Journal by Dr. Joseph Mercola. Cat knows some stuff. And I do a show every other week with Gary Null, Progressive Radio Network. The cat knows a lot about health, fitness, and nutrition. And I listen to what they're saying. Do I agree with everything he's saying? No, but that's the way it is. But a lot of this stuff is very positive when I'm talking about Kennedy, not Mercola or Null. Matter of fact, I just did an interview with Gary Null. It'll be going up later this week. So I'm very positive on that. So I call it the way it is. Again, I agree with tariffs. I don't want, but I totally, as a man that launched Occupy Peace over a decade ago and put my money where my mouth is, I'm totally against what Trump is doing. Totally against it. And he lied about it. By his deeds you shall know them. If you hear me saying, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this, I'll do that, and I did the opposite, would you be pissed off at me? You bet you would. And you'd be attacking me. So where are the attacks against what he's promised and what he's doing? Yeah. New Year's Eve resolution, peace on earth. Next day, bombs away, a day later, 2 days over Venezuela. And remember what I kept saying to you. He bombed Venezuela and he bombed Iran on Saturday when the equity markets were closed. By the way, oil prices are going up again, and there's instability. They're fearful of what's going to happen next. And I'm concerned about a false flag attack that will officially launch World War III. By building up the military defense by $1.5 trillion is, to me, satanic. Thanks for tuning in, and please watch the interview I did with Judge Napolitano yesterday. Again, what he's calling Trump, what he did in Venezuela. You read what the judge says and what he puts out articles and what he said. This is a violation of our Constitution and our rights. So please look at the interview I did with the judge yesterday, and please do what you can do to support us, because we're supporting you. Thank you.